Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. I was starting to wonder if this day would ever come. Unless you've been living under a rock the last few years, you have to have noticed that the prices of used cars has risen dramatically. Now, the economist in me tells me that this is just a simple matter of supply and demand at work. And the point here is that because of the shutdowns and shortages, there's been a drastic reduction in the number of new cars being offered for sale. And as a result of that, those folks that would be buying new cars can't offer their existing car for sale to the used car market. Aww. And as an obvious result of that, the number of used cars that make up the used car market is significantly down as well. In fact, over the last few years, when I've driven through new car dealerships, it's clear to see that they're down on inventory because the cars are spaced out, the back parts of the lot are empty, and it's a sight I've never seen in my adult life. Now couple that with the fact that people seem to have more money in their pockets, and they're willing to compete against each other when buying these used cars, and as an end result, nature takes its course, and obviously that results in the higher prices we've all seen. Not surprisingly, the used C5 Corvette market, which is obviously a tiny percentage of the used car market, has not been spared from this insanity. And many would probably argue that the prices of our beloved C5 have risen even more. Aww. Now, as a C5 Corvette enthusiast and borderline lunatic, out of habit and curiosity, I tend to check C5 prices several times a month by cruising through Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Cars.com, etc., just to kind of see what's going on and see if I can keep my finger on the pulse. Well, I'm here to tell you that after my last few C5 market check-ins, especially the one I did this last week, I hereby declare, in my humble opinion, that the C5 market peaked a few months back, and over the next 6 to 12 months, I expect the prices of these cars to come back to reality and perhaps go even lower than they were a couple of years ago. So hang out for just a little bit because we're going to talk about C5 prices and a whole lot more, and we'll do that next. Toys for Life. I cannot tell you how many people in the comments below my videos have mentioned that they were just about ready to pull the trigger and purchase their dream car C5 Corvette, and the prices jumped, putting the car outside of their reach. People would ask for my opinion. Should they buy now or hold off till later? And I would tell them I don't have a crystal ball, but one thing I know for sure is that sooner or later, all car prices, including C5 Corvettes, will come back down to earth. And therefore it's up to you, because none of us have a crystal ball, so you have to determine how much time and patience you have to hold out, or if you want to bite the bullet and start driving a C5 today. So what has me convinced that C5 prices have fallen and will continue to do so? My first evidence is that my 30,000 foot view of what the general asking price is for what I would call middle of the road C5s, and those are the ones that have higher miles but are in generally pretty decent shape. The asking prices for these has fallen considerably. Now take this white 1999 C5 Corvette for instance. While it does have 130,000 miles, the title is clean. Always be sure to check that. And from the high quality photos that they took the extra time to make, the body appears to be in very good condition. The interior also appears to be decent. The engine bay, however, might need a little elbow grease, but what do you expect from a car that sold for $11,400? Yes, I actually called and inquired on this one, and the seller informed me that it had just sold. Now, a lot of times, if you're really polite and you strike a little conversation up with the seller will tell you how much it sold for, and that sales price is obviously a lot more informative than the asking price. Okay, right now, a couple of you out there are probably thinking, Toys for Life, this is just a fluke. And that's a fair question, so let's take a look at another C5. This time, it's a beautiful model year 2000 yellow C5 Corvette. Yes, it has 155,000 miles on it, but once again, it's got a clean title, and this one even has a manual transmission. And unless they stage these photos, it appears that this one had a beautiful, clean shop to live in as well. And as far as I know, this one is still for sale, so if you need me to check it out for you, let me know in the comments below. What about the C4 Corvette fans out there? If you're looking for a decent specimen to get into the Corvette lifestyle with, I think you're going to be happy as well. Just take a look at this 1992 LT1 powered C4 Corvette. And by the photographs provided for this one, it also appears to be in very nice condition. What a beauty. And best of all, it even has that elusive C4 Corvette manual transmission. In my mind, guys, if you've been waiting for the right time to pick up a C4 Corvette, there is no need to wait a minute longer. This one definitely deserves a look. Now, we've talked a little bit about C4 and C5 pricing, but what about C6 pricing? I know there's more than just a few C5 owners that are going through that 5-year itch and they're thinking about downgrading to a C6, or would that be an upgrade? I'll leave that up to you to determine if it's an upgrade or a downgrade. But anyway, the good news is Gravity appears to have had its way with C6 pricing as well. So let's look at a couple. First up is this beautiful red 2006 C6 with 110,000 miles. I'm willing to bet you could score this one for under 20 grand, and for your hard-earned money, you'd be rewarded with a beautiful LS2 powered C6 with an interior that appears to be in almost as fantastic of condition as the exterior is. And the engine bay, well, that's not too shabby either. For those of you that won't settle for anything less than an LS3 powered Corvette, there is this 2010 black C6. Now it does have 140,000 miles, but the title is clean, and if it was treated well, then it's basically barely broken in. And since it can likely be had for less than 19 large, think of the money you'd have left in your piggy bank for modifications. So there you have it, real-world current pricing evidence that shows that C4, 5, and 6 prices are indeed coming down, and finally, your wait might just be over. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to share, like, and subscribe so that YouTube knows to share this video with the Corvette community. And if you're feeling extra generous, leave a comment below.